gotta take the hits and bruises as you walk amongst the jungle. The breakdown, they gon' break you as long as you never stumble. Yo, what's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy Los. Welcome to Conversations with Los. Today we have a really special guest, which I've been trying to get on here for a while now, and I'm so glad I'm actually doing this interview with my man, Luciano. What's up, Lucky? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Just chilling. You know, it snowed this weekend over here in Georgia, so we stayed in Friday night and Saturday night. But hey, for the most part, had a blast with the kids, man. How about you? Where you at? You in New York, right?
Yeah, I'm up in Syracuse, New York, Central New York.
Oh, okay.
We got hit all week. We had a snow day, which means a snow week. So it was a long week for the snow. Got some shoveling. Just chilled most of this weekend, hanging out with the kids. Just got back from the gym. Just went to go shoot around for a little bit.
Nice. That's one thing I don't miss about New York, bro. It's snow.
Yeah.
We get here like every once in the blue, but not as much as you guys do up there. It's no joke up there.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But so Lucky. I wanted to ask you a few questions about autism because from what I have understood, you have how many kids? You have one kid or two kids that had autism?
I have one.
You have one?
He's a twin. So he's my baby boy. He has a twin sister that's a few minutes older, but he's the baby of the family.
Okay. And how old is he now?
LJ is 11.
11. Wow. That's dope, man. He's almost the same year as my son. My son is 10.
Yep, 11 years old.
So he was born in what?
13.
13? Yeah, 13. Okay. Wow, that's cool. And how did you start to like notice there was autism or there wasn't something right?
So with twins, it was kind of hard, right? So we're trying to just let them do their own thing. They have older brothers. So their older brothers were, Elijah was 10 when they were born, and Anthony was like 13, 14. So just developing. So my daughter walked first, crawled first, trying to say words, and little man was a little bit behind. So, we just monitored it because you never know. Kids progress at different levels.
Some slower than others.
Yeah, but then you started to see him actually not putting words together, not
Okay.
looking into your face. And I didn't notice it at first. His mom did because I was working. And then I had a business. I used to teach basketball. I had my own basketball business. So I was doing that, grinding because it's twins, they cost a lot.
Yeah.
Double. And then started taking them to the pediatrician, and then the nurse practitioner there was like, hey, let's start getting them checked out on some things. It doesn't look like he's hitting some milestones. Like, okay. So we were on a waiting list for a while. See a neurologist, saw him. And he said, well, he might have some tendencies. We don't know at this point.
And how old was he when that was going on?
Right, a little over 1 years old.
Okay.
A little over 1. So it took him a little bit longer to walk than his sister. And, they had to wear helmets because their head wasn't fully developed. So they each wore one. So he was a little behind. She was just all over the place, zipping back and forth, getting into things like kids do.
Yeah.
So, we kept going back, and then we moved I was in Texas at the time. We moved from San Antonio to Kerrville, Texas, a smaller town.
Was it more like comfortable as far as living?
I moved up there for work, and because something happened in my oldest son's high school. Somebody brought some firearms. Thank God they caught them, and I was like, I'm moving everybody. I'm not taking.
Yeah, I feel you.
So we moved to a smaller town, which turned out to be good, and it was all right until we started getting it going with LJ, and my daughter started coming along, talking and singing, and his just wasn't there. So we started to get him evaluated, and then saw a few people there for therapy. And they straight said, it's like, we think he has autism. It's like, okay, so what's the next step? All right, we have, therapies over here at this center. Went over there, and we were paying over $800 a month for like 2 hours of therapy.
What? How often was therapy?
It was once a week for a half hour.
Once a week for a half hour. And what would they do in these therapies?
So they were trying to get his fine motor skills, gross motor skills going,
Okay.
see if they can get his attention going because his arms are weak. He has like low muscle tone in his arms and in his core. And then also to see if like he would play, interact with people, and maybe say a word or two or just grab his attention. And it was going okay because it was more like play therapy, like ABA style. But it was just too much. I couldn't afford it
Yeah.
because I was
Sound.
only
Yeah.
working. Yeah, I was the only one working, supporting 6 people. It was hard.
Wow. No, I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
So then you, at some point, you stopped paying that, and what did you do after that? Like, did you? I'm assuming you kept them in programs, right?
We kept paying and doing the therapy, and then we started going to the school district to get them an actual evaluation, an IEP. And then while we were doing it, I was like, I can't do this here because being from New York, I know that education's a big thing and no one fails out here. They're going to get all the opportunities.
Yeah, that's true.
And Texas, they were like, well, we can give them speech therapy once every 6 weeks for a half hour. I'm like, what?
No, once every 6 weeks.
And the same thing for other therapies.
Wow.
I was like, no, that's all you guys have? They're like, yeah, and that'll be this school. You know, to drive up to the school, I was like, there's a halfway house down the street. I'm not letting my kid come here. No. And I was like, nah, forget this. I was like, we're leaving Texas. It was a family meeting. Everybody sat down, started going through it. The adults talked first, and
Yeah.
His wife started looking, and she was like, well, these states right here are good and they have good services. One of them's your home state of New York. And I was like, well, then guess where we're going? Because I'm not used to this. I'm saying they don't have XYZ in the school for a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not used to that. New York, whatever you need, you got.
And did you grow up in New York?
Yeah, originally, I was born in Camden, New Jersey.
Okay.
So then we moved to Puerto Rico. Then we moved back to Camden, and then I ended up in New York, Middletown.
Boricua, my man. What part of New York did you guys end up at?
Orange County, Middletown.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
not too far from the city.
Oh wow, that's dope. So you guys had this meeting, and then what happens after that?
So we had the meeting, pros and cons, and then I had to see if I could transfer. You know, I wasn't going to come to New York without a job. That took a little bit. By the time I got that worked out, it was February. Got that all worked out, and I didn't leave Texas until June.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long ass drive.
We took the train.
Really? How long was that?
I think that was like 2.5 days. So we didn't know how LJ was going to do on the plane. And we had already ran into some people in Texas that were discriminating against us. Like,
no way.
Like, he'd make sounds, he'd be stimming and, flapping his arms and being vocal, and people would look and say things. They told us we weren't welcome at the Croc Center gym anymore in Kerrville, Texas. Like, we couldn't take him to the daycare anymore. So, we were already starting to go through it. And I was like,
that's crazy that you have to go through that. That there's actually people with that state of mind. It's sad, man.
It is, but it's also Texas culture. Because down there, they were just believing that, oh, it'll get better. Oh, it'll be fine. Oh, it's okay.
Interesting.
They're like, well, maybe if you go back to the church, or I'm just like, really? Okay. Right. So they were still stuck in the past.
There's a different type of state of mind than down there, man. Sure.
Correct. So, we took the train. We shipped the cars. I bought a house, sight unseen, saw the picture, sent the realtor. She looked at it. She's like, it has everything you guys need and want. I was like, fine, put the offer, let's get it. He was in the school district. We wanted him in. Then we took the train. We had a 9-hour layover in Chicago. So we stopped, we got a little hotel room, let the kids decompress, got some food, and right back to it. We got 2 actual cars. So I was in one with my boys, And then my wife was in the other with my daughter.
But
And
they're those. I've always sorry to cut you off. I've always wanted to do those train rides. Are they like comfortable and shit though? Like they got a bed in there, or how does that? What does that look like?
yeah, so if you get a regular seat, it's just a free for all. We actually got like a car that has like two beds, like bunk beds, like one up top and then one on the bottom that opens up to like a full bed. It has a little table in there, a bathroom, a little shower.
Okay, wow, that's dope.
So we spent the money to be comfortable.
That's what's up. Okay, hell yeah.
We shipped our cars. So when we got to the train station, the guy, I called him like 3-4 hours before we got to Syracuse. He was like, as soon as you guys get there, I'm gonna be there. And he was. So we had our cars and, like the kids' clothes and necessities. We packed them in the cars. We stayed in the hotel until we bought our house and moved in. But this is the difference. Like I said, the gym over there was like, he's not welcome here. We get here, we go to the YMCA, and we're like, kids want to goof around, get on the court, just drain that energy. I want to play ball too. I want to hit some weights. I asked the lady, I was like, is it okay that he comes here? He's autistic. We're here for services. She goes, yes, it's okay. And if you get services, you can have the services done here while you go work out if you want. And I was just like,
wow.
Like, it felt great. It was like this weight lifted off my shoulder.
I bet.
Yeah, whatever you need. He's welcome here. Where are you coming from that you asked? I was like, Texas. She was like, we don't do that here. Whatever you need, you can have the services done here if you like, so you can work out and be comfortable. Man, that's awesome.
You see, man, they think all of us New Yorkers are a-holes. Not.
Exactly. It's the people that aren't from here that are. I'm just going to say it. Just saying.
Wow. So, yeah, man, I bet that was a huge weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. We got them to the school district. They didn't have any room for them in like one of the schools out here. So they sent them to like a private daycare and they paid for it. The school district did. And then he started getting therapy 5 days a week out the gate.
Wow.
Like physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy every day. And I was just like, every day. And these fools told me once every 6 weeks.
It's crazy. That's oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't have to pay for it. I still do because, taxes in New York are taxes in New York. It ain't cheap, but it goes towards these services. So I'm fine with paying them. So.
Wow. So schools were a part of that too. And did you do other programs for him besides the school?
So we let the school do what they do because here they have some great people, great experts, people that have been in their field forever.
Nice.
And it was awesome because they were like, hey, we know you're new here. Who's your doctor? We're like, well, we saw that this doctor over here is a specialist. He knows about this stuff. They're like, great doctor. Summerwood Pediatrics out here in Central New York. Dr. Draker, great guy. He's like on the board at a children's hospital. Knows about autism research and can give you referrals to whoever you need to talk to. And he's been great. Any questions we have, he'll answer them. So the school was like, okay, the doctor's great, perfect. We're going to set you up to get evaluated through the state. In the meantime, we would like to try this for speech therapy. And I was like, well, what is it? Lady's like, it's a communication device. We can teach them how to use it to talk, communicate with everyone. I was like, okay. She said, we can have someone come in and evaluate them to see if, it's a good fit for them. If someone didn't, they're like, we don't think it'd be a good fit for them. I was like, so what now? She was like, well, you can buy it yourself. I was like, I'm going to work a bunch of overtime. I'll be back.
I heard that.
So I did. Worked a bunch of overtime, bought the tablet, a case, the program itself, and gave it to the speech therapist. And she just opened a whole new world for us. Like I said, these are good people and they know their craft and it's helped. He still uses it today.
Wow. That's awesome. What are some of the things that you have to learn in order to better help your son?
Well, when it comes to this type of thing, no one really has answers. Every child is different.
Yeah.
There's levels to it, 1, 2, and 3. My son's severely autistic and he's nonverbal. He doesn't speak. So coming to terms with that was hard. You know what I mean? Because as a dad, you want the best for your kids. Between my siblings and my kids now, I've had a hand in raising like 7 kids, right? Most of them all boys. It's easy. Hey, knock it off, go roughhouse, go outside, go play video games. Yeah, go work out. Yeah, I'll take you to the gym. With my daughter, I had to learn how to, princesses and rainbows.
Yeah, I'm going through that now.
With him, it was like, okay, how do I get through to him? Like, what does he like? When he's trying to communicate with me and his mom and siblings, what does this mean? What does that mean? And I take notes. I'll take videos. And I just had to learn how to just accept everything and take it slow. That's it.
And one day at a time.
And then the researching, like to no end. So I have my master's in human resource management. So research is just something that I do. It's a part of that. And when I say I treat it like a full-time job, I did. I treated it like a full-time job. When we saw his doctor, I asked questions. He's like, those are good questions. I saw like places like Duke University doing autism research. I reached out to them. Like, hey,
wow,
can we get in on this? And I'm like, well, you can't because the study's already closed, but it's interesting that you have twins and he's autistic and she's not. So, then I reached out to some people in Panama doing like stem cell research with it. Like,
wow, you really.
It became my life. And then I was looking, I'll ask, the teachers, well, do you notice him doing this? Do you notice him doing that? What about this? What about that? And they're like, oh, okay. Because I'm actively engaged because this is my son. You know what I mean? And this is my little man. And I've been like this for all my kids. With him, it's a little bit more because he needs more from me. So I'm giving him the best of me. And it's just learning to accept it and then giving them the best that I can.
I heard that.
Yeah.
And you did your part, man. I mean, like you saying, researching and just trying your best to see how you could help them,
Yeah. And moving across country, like for work, I had to restart back to the lowest man. Career got reset. It was on a pretty good path in Texas. And then I got here and just right back to starting all over again.
Square one.
Square one.
Really? What are you doing now at work or in New York?
I'm a police officer.
My man. That's what's up, brother. Hell yeah. My sister's a state trooper.
I'm a police officer. Not a lot of people know, but that's what I also did when I was in the military. I was military police, but
military. What branch was you doing?
I was in the Air Force.
Wow, so was my sister. It's the only time I've ever been to San Antonio. It's for her graduation.
Graduation, yeah.
Hot as hell, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, bro. I learned some about you today. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself just staying there in New York?
Yes, because New York, it has everything that it needs. And out here, like, even when they become adults, they still have services for them out here. Like when I go to the Y, we see them going. We see folks with disabilities at the YMCA all the time, especially the bigger one not too far from here. They got an indoor track. You see them up there walking around. They have time just for them, allotted just for folks with disabilities. Special Olympics is huge out here due to the school. So out here, they know about it, and no one hides from it. Like LJ, they push into regular classes sometimes just so kids can get familiar, right? And the good part is he has a twin. So his twin also knows. She sees, I've taken my daughter to the meetings, do the state social worker, IEP meetings. So she learns to, it's a family affair. Like when I say everybody knows about it, we all know about it just because you never know.
Yeah, you guys move as a unit. That's what's up.
That's it all the time. So, it is hard because you do give up certain things as a dad. I'm not going to be watching him play a basketball game or getting him ready for prom. Like he's never going to be like, hey, this girl broke my heart. Things like that. So in that aspect, it is hard because my older boys, I coached them all in basketball, flag football, Took them big boy roller coasters, the water parks, all that good stuff. Seeing them get their heart broken. Hey,
Yeah.
let's fix your tie for the dance. Teach them how to drive. And after my daughter, I won't coach anymore because it stops with him. But then we do other things though. Like you find those things, right? He has a personality, and he tells me what he likes. Get air, trampoline park. Dave and Buster's. He likes Dave and Buster's. Like today's Sunday. Every Sunday morning at 7, we go to Target. Just me and him. Go get what we need. If you want some chips, usually you get some chips. Some pictures of the stuff he likes, and he Googles it. It's just what he's into. But he tells me because we talk between myself, his mom, the school. We're like that. And it works. I mean, it's hard. I'm not going to front. It is hard. Children in general are hard. They don't come with a manual. And this is just on a whole different level. But I'm a dad, man. I got to give them the best.
Man, amen. That's true. Yeah, man. God bless you always. You're awesome dude, bro. And for people who don't know, I came across you on TikTok, and I met a lot of wonderful people over there who, I wanted to, bring on to my podcast. Just one, because you guys are like awesome, and then two, you guys have a wonderful story as well.
Yeah, and it's one like I never thought anything about it till I got on TikTok, and there was discussions about parents and autism, and somebody was like, "Well, what about you?" And I'm like, and I told him like, "So you moved from Texas to New York to get him what he needs?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like." And I'm just thinking because of how my mom raised me, like, yeah, that's what any of us would do. And some people are like, no, that's not what everybody does. I'm like, well, I was under the impression that that's what parents do.
Yeah. I guess some people may view it in the aspect of like how, the South is a lot more cheaper in New York. So jumping to New York, yeah, it's more expensive, but I mean, you're getting all the care for your son that you need. And there's a reason why people are paying what they pay in taxes, Um, because usually people run away from New York. Like I'm one of those who left because it was too expensive, that too. And if I would have been in that situation, then I would have 150% would have stayed, But yeah, that is a huge jump though, Texas to New York. But
Yeah, I mean, like I
you did
said,
it for the right reasons, bro. I mean, it's your did you other kids moved with you as well?
the oldest didn't. He was a senior in high school, so
Okay.
he stood, finished out because he was a great basketball player,
Nice.
and he wanted to be there with his friends and do the prom and everything, and I understood, and it was his decision. So with any of the kids, I'm not the type of dad that pushes anything on them. Like I said, it was a family decision. So everybody
Yeah.
got to say the pros and cons came out, and he decided to stay to finish the senior year. And I got to respect that. You know what I mean? He's his own person. He was grown up and he did great. He made like the all district team. He was like the captain of the basketball team. He had fun with his friends. And I'm glad he had that experience. You know what I mean? And we just had to give him what he wanted. The 3 came here, and then my second son Elijah, he finished out school here, and then he went off to college. He got into Duke.
Oh, nice.
I made sure, yeah, man, I made sure too, like he had what he needed to grow with school, so we fed whatever he needed, and then same thing with my daughter. I made sure she's not lost in the mix. And what I mean by lost in the mix, when you have a child that has severe autism, they can command your time. Like, I mean, all of it. But I set aside time for each one of the kids because I am dad and they need that one-on-one time and also like all of us time together. So coach my daughter the past 3 years in basketball. We have daddy-daughter dates. When Elijah comes to visit, we'll watch, a show or two together. When Anthony was coming from Texas to visit, we would go play basketball together. Me and LJ go to Target together. So something with each one of them so they all know, like, I still value them one-on-one and everyone together.
Wow, that's big. It's big and it's important, man. Yeah, I bet. But it's important, man. And it's great that you're doing that. It's awesome, man. You're a really humble guy, man. I respect you, bro. I've always respected you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Lucky, I appreciate you, man, taking the time out today, man, to come have a conversation with me.
No problem at any time.
Yeah, you still gotta send me those Star Wars orders.
Well, I'm gonna text it to you. What order to
Okay.
watch all the movies and shows. It's fun getting into it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk when you were talking about on TikTok that you were a huge fan, my son was on the couch, and I was like, man, I've always wanted to watch it, but like I never knew the order. And then you said you sent it to me, and then my son was like, yeah, I want to watch it too. So, you know, so it's something that me and him gonna embark together on,
That's cool, man. I like that.
and it's his things is usually like zombies. His favorite movie is werewolves. We would watch it over and over, man. But it's something he likes. So Star Wars, yeah, we've been wanting to market together for a while now.
I just watched I Am Legend the other night.
It's a lot of movies, though, right?
Yeah, I Am Legend. Oh,
I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am Legend. I just watched him the other night. You said zombies.
Yeah, Will Smith. That was a badass movie.
It was.
That was a badass movie. But
it's a lot of movies and shows with the Star Wars, but if you two are doing it together, it'll breeze by.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out, man. Shoot me that list, bro. But yo, Lucky, thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate you, brother, for taking the time and chit chat. Do you mind just like doing a smile so we can put it on the cover? All right, thank you. All right, my man. You be easy. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, bro. And then
Peace.
thank you for your time. Be easy, brother.
You too.